Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, Billy Wessels, here with you again on another Tuesday. It's time to start talking about TCU football. Billy, we are so close. 9 days.
I can almost taste football. Or is that a stroke?
Does that
one of the
taste
two things?
like? Does football taste like chicken or like pork rinds?
It's like it's more like cow because it's leather that's been dehydrated and sometimes deflated. Well, let's talk about Deflategate. Let's go ESPN on this. There's the sports news. Football is going to happen soon, so we got to talk about
I don't think we need to talk
football.
about Deflategate.
Do you like this voice though? Should I keep this?
You should never do that voice again.
Get rid of that.
That one.
I don't know. I kind of feel like my real voice is good, sort of deep, sort of manly, but then I like my character voices. I like to get all real weird, real different on you guys. You don't know which way I'm coming from. I'm coming from the South, maybe.
Maybe
I'm coming from New York. I don't know.
Maybe we should call a potential recruit. But like a recruit for Baylor or something, and be like total jerk-offs and do different voices and fake interview them.
Mm-hmm. That'd be interesting. I can do a mean Kevin Lundquist. Shout out Kevin Lundquist at Sikkim Sports if he's listening. He's actually a Fort Worth native, so he could be listening. It doesn't matter if he's listening. If he's in Fort Worth, if you can listen, you can listen to Timbuktu if you want to.
Because it's a podcast.
Tweet at us if you're in Timbuktu listening. You'll get a free download of the podcast next week.
Or if you're in Bozeman, Montana.
Sure.
You ever heard a Bozeman, Montana accent?
No.
Sounds like every other redneck out there, man. I'm from Bozeman, Montana.
It's weird how super north sounds a lot like super south.
Yeah. I think it's just the seclusion. South Dakota?
Yeah. Oof. Yeesh.
So we're doing the
podcast.
podcast.
Rushmore is, or is that in the north?
Yeah.
It's in the south, right?
South?
I'm pretty sure it was south.
South.
Tweet us if we're wrong.
If we're wrong about, we do have college degrees, but we don't know where Mount Rushmore
You're the one
is.
that thought this microphone was on when it was clearly the off position. Like less than 5 minutes ago. Why don't your mic work? I just bought this new mixer.
Look, Billy, okay? I'm doing enough, all right?
You're doing more than enough. This is amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed the first 3 episodes of this podcast. Let's try and not ruin it this 4th time.
I'm going to make sure I take pictures of us, and I'm going to put these in the podcast, because that's what I haven't done, is actually take pictures of us and what we do.
You want to break your phone? I haven't shaved in about 2 weeks. Is that going to be a problem?
I haven't shaved in, a couple months?
But see, the joke is I don't grow facial hair very fast. I call it a 5-day shadow instead of a 5 o'clock shadow. This is literally like, I think I shave on Saturdays, Friday or Saturdays, because I got to go out and look good for the
ladies.
They don't see me if I look good for them. They don't talk to me a whole lot. But I got to look good for, I guess, the man in the mirror. You
got to look good for when you come over here.
I was about to say, speaking of looking good, bold strategy on your part as she walks by the window again. She's fully clothed this time, but bold strategy on your part to have us in your back patio again instead of in your study foyer.
I like the outdoorsy feel to it.
I do too.
It's nice, even though today is ridiculously humid.
It is, because it rained, apparently. I was outside like 5 times today and didn't feel a drop of rain. And so every time I look outside, I was like, oh, it just rained.
It is what it is, It's Texas.
This
like
is
you
your
can
Monday
never
weather report, by the way, for whenever you listen to this. It's Monday, August 24th, 2015.
Yeah, we're 4 minutes in, and we have not mentioned much about what we're going to talk about today,
which is Baylor football.
We're gonna talk.
We'll get to that at some point.
We're going to talk about the shocker to me, and I know this caught you off guard as well.
It really did. We were texting about it. We had no idea this was going to go down.
The transfer, Newey Scruggs of NBC5. I think he listens to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Newey tweeted out on
He's a Newey listener, if you would say.
Really? Billy, come on, man.
Yeah.
So Newey tweets out the other day that he's going to break a news story about a transfer, and I immediately text you, and I'm like, you know anything about this? And you're like, if it's the Cam White story, it's dumb.
It's exactly what I said, because the Cam White story is like 2 years old, and he's transferring to Grambling. It is actually a really cool story. He had concussion issues here, and he's transferring to Grambling to finish his degree in football career. It's kind of weird. I kind of think he should be done with football because you know how many head knocks he's had, but he wants to keep trying, so he's going to go play at Grambling. It is a cool story. He used to GoFundMe to go and raise the money to get back into school. But it's just, but yeah, that's totally off topic. But
so we thought it was Cam White.
Yeah.
And then we were close.
Yeah.
It was a wide receiver named Cam.
Or true, I didn't even put that together. Wide receiver or corner or return specialist, whatever Cam Looper was when his days were done here.
So Cameron Echols-Luper, wide receiver, played a lot in the slot. Most people know him from punt returns last year. Obviously, he won the Kansas game.
The Kansas game for TCU, yep.
He's decided, and this the big, not that he's decided to transfer, but twofold on this. The fact that he decided to transfer this late. I mean, fall camp's basically over.
After 2-a-days.
Right.
He went through all that grind to be with a potential national championship caliber team, number 2 in the nation preseason, and then you're going to transfer to Arkansas State after going through 2-a-days for this team that you're not going to. I don't know. I would have done it. Kudos to him. He's doing something he wants to do. It still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but at this stage of the game, to do this is kind of a head scratcher.
It's kind of different. And then you mentioned he's going to Arkansas State, but he's going to Arkansas State to be a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we saw his arm a couple times last year. Was it the Baylor game he threw a touchdown or threw a deep pass?
2 years ago, he hit Ladarius Brown for a touchdown in the Texas game.
But no, he had another pass last year too.
I think he's completed a couple each year.
Yeah,
he can throw.
He might have the best quarterback rating on the team. That's saying something. But no, he can throw. He was a quarterback in high school. One of those guys that GP loves getting the guys to play quarterback before coming to TCU. But yeah, it's just. I don't know if you can just go and play quarterback at another college after playing wide receiver, punt returner, a little bit of cornerback at a school. I mean, Arkansas, it's a totally different level of competition, and the whatever conference he's in now.
Are they in the Sun Belt?
Maybe Sun Belt?
Sun Belt, maybe? Conference USA?
Yeah.
You think we would know.
Yeah,
it's Arkansas State. We really don't care.
Dude, honestly, though, I think that's a decent small program. I think they're doing things the right way. They have a really good coaching staff, and part of that is because their cornerback coach, and I'm blanking on the name now, I can look it up later, is good friends with Cam's dad.
Yeah, they were coaches together at Auburn, weren't they?
Coaches together at Auburn. So they're good buddies, and he's the guy that actually recruited Cam Newton. Too many Cams happening right now, and your camera is out. Just a whole lot of Cams in this discussion. But yeah, honestly, I thought he would be a guy that TCU would look at as far as bringing in to be the cornerback coach this year when Kenny Perry left. I thought he'd be a good guy to come in and coach corners. Maybe a guy to go pursue, because obviously he can recruit well. He brought in Cam Newton, Heisman Trophy winner, and my fantasy quarterback. No, he's not. I traded him, thank goodness. But I think
before the Kelvin Benjamin thing, or after?
After, yeah. I traded him for a kicker. No, it wasn't a great. It wasn't. I didn't necessarily win the trade, but I got him off my team. This is the whole league with money, like with fake money, not real money, with fake money and fake contracts and stuff. I needed to dump his salary, basically.
Gotcha.
I took a kicker on. I'm
back to
really
Looper.
Cool. I'm really cool. I have really intense fantasy football leagues. I told you, ladies, if you're listening. No, I'll shave for you. No, yeah, I think it's just weird that this stage of the game, and he can play. He's a great athlete. I mean, I think he'll be a really mobile guy. I mean, maybe he'll be I don't want to say Boykin South, because he's going to be more north than Boykin, but I could see him playing a similar sort of game. And
it depends on what kind of offense they're going to run. He's got obviously. He played from his true freshman year here at TCU, so he's got a redshirt year. So that's a plus for him, because he's going to have to sit and he's not going to have to burn an actual year. He'll redshirt. But, the other part of this that really, really throws me off is this is the second player that we've seen leave TCU, football player. Jordan Moore last year, right after the bowl game, Jordan Moore said that he was leaving. And actually, I think he told a lot of people that he was gone before the game. But Jordan Moore leaves. And the parallel with both of them was they were guys that didn't really have a position.
Yeah.
Jordan Moore, they'd moved around a lot, phenomenal athlete. But they both leave a program that just won a Peach Bowl and is a top 5 team in the country to go somewhere else. Jordan wanted to have more of an opportunity to play. That's what Cam's saying as well. But they were also both All-Americans on the track team, which TCU is a really good track team.
I guess that's true, yeah.
And so, that's the other part of it. Like, football is so important to these guys, and just getting to play that they're willing to give up, in my opinion, both of them are better track guys than they are football players.
Yeah,
Jordan Moore won the Big 12 110 hurdles. Cam Looper was on the number 2 team in the nation, relay.
Yeah.
And he's going to go run track at Arkansas State?
But he's going to win all the conference titles at Arkansas State. He's going to still probably get invited to the national championship of track. I think he's going to be less fast or can't jump as far.
That's
in
true.
Track.
Yeah, I mean, he was a long jumper and a high jumper, and he can run. But when for me, I would think there was way more benefits to stay here. But it's not me.
We're both TCU people. We love Fort Worth. I mean, obviously we're going to see that side of it. But I think Jordan Moore is actually a little bit more a scholarship issue, if I remember that situation correctly, because I think he wanted a football scholarship, and he's not going to say stuck with the track. I think there's something to do with scholarships there for him.
And he's over at LSU now.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another great track program. I mean, it's not like it's a downgrade really in the track facility.
And so he's sitting this year at LSU, and then next year he'll be playing.
Yeah,
Les Miles will find a way.
Oh, they've got more openings for wide receivers than TCU does for sure. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of room at running back at LSU. LSU makes.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was back at safety.
Yeah, I mean,
Les Miles' defense.
That's true. I mean,
I could see him back on the defensive
side
of the ball.
That defense is not as good as TCU's defense.
No.
So
no.
Who knows?
We jumped on Jordan Moore a little bit, but Cam Echols-Luper is transferring out Arkansas State, playing quarterback. Wish him the best. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Fun guy to follow. TXS May MDE 11, I think, is his
Texas
Twitter.
made? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to Arkansas after playing in Bama and playing his high school in Bama. He might have to alter the Twitter handle, but I don't know. Wish him the best. Go play quarterback. Maybe I'll watch him play Louisiana Tech. That's where my parents went to school. Maybe they're in the same conference as them. I don't know, honestly. But I don't even know what conference they're in anymore. Who knows these days?
All these conferences are crazy.
Are they in Southern Miss's conference? We could see a Cam Echols-Luper Tyler Matthews showdown.
Southern Miss?
Yeah, that'd be
we'll have to look at
a barn burner, possibly.
We'll get on that, and I'll post Arkansas State's football schedule for next year on the video that's attached to this.
Yeah, what if that's like our week 1 opponent? That'd be awesome.
Oh.
I do think I
totally forgot about Tyler Matthews.
Yeah, see, I do think one possible side story is I do think this is where Coach Looper leaves probably the program after the year. I don't want to speculate too much, but I know he interviewed for a couple of head coaching jobs at smaller schools. I think SFA was one of them.
His alma mater?
His alma mater, yeah. So I could see him possibly moving on after his son's gone. So, I mean, it's just something else to think about.
It's when the dominoes are setting up, it makes sense, yeah. Well, we wish Cam the best. And
Cam the Looper the best.
Cam Echols-Luper the best. And hopefully Coach Looper does stay. Because we don't like losing coaches.
No.
Well, that's going to wrap up our transfer shocker segment. I can't wrap my head around it all the way. Like it just bugs me. But that's just me. Who cares?
I mean, he's gonna be the fifth receiver and fifth cornerback here, but he would be the all conference return guy.
Right. And he's probably all conference maybe quarterback.
MVP. Yeah, I mean he could be the conference MVP of this conference. We don't know what it is.
The conference that
we are both sitting here behind computers. We could look it up. That's how little we care about Arkansas State.
I'm wondering why you haven't done that. Well. All right, when we come back, we're going to jump in with the practice report. And Billy was at Meet the Frogs. Fall camp is over. He's going to talk about what happened at the end of practice, some quotes from Coach Patterson, and tell me a little bit about Meet the Frogs. I didn't get to go, but I saw your pictures. Wow.
Dude, so many people. But that's called a tease in the business. We'll tell you how many people there were approximately. Definitely not exactly.
We'll tell you how many people.
How many people came to watch TCU players sign autographs after this.
Beat homeboy. Here's a story, listen to me. It's Friday night and time to party. Get on the table and play some pong. Just remember what's right and wrong. College is here, but it's not for long. Live it on up, just don't hit the bong. So drink your beer and have your fun. But if you get in your car, your career is done.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, Billy Wessels here. I hope you enjoyed that alcohol awareness PSA.
Now, did you just? It's going to be behind the curtain a little bit. You're going to cut something out, but it said, "Here's a little story." Is that a reference to this Beastie Boys song, or did I make that up entirely?
No, I think I just happened to have this. No, I have this Beastie Boys thing, and it just.
Did I
subconsciously
hear that too, or no?
No, you did.
Okay,
because that's how that guy's
right.
little rap started off, and then it put this in. Wow,
Weird. Do. I'm trying to find what conference Arkansas State's in still. It's surprisingly difficult.
I'm just going to keep fading the music in and out.
People will love this. MCA will love it. Does Arkansas State start at USC?
MCA?
I don't.
MCA is the one that's dead, man.
They play, well, RIP MCA. That's a lot of letters. They do not play again. They play back-to-back Tuesday night games, Arkansas State, and a Thursday. Thursday at Appalachian State, 2 Tuesdays at Southern Alabama and Louisiana Lafayette.
They got to be in some funky conference. What is it?
I can't find it. It's literally, I don't blame them for not mentioning what conference they're in on here, but they start the year at USC and home versus Missouri, so that's going to be two tough games, to say the least.
Are you kidding me?
They're the Red Wolves.
Yes.
You see us furiously. The Sun Belt. They're in the Sun Belt. Made up of Arkansas State, Louisiana Tech, University of Southwestern Louisiana. Oh, now it's Louisiana Lafayette. Why do they call it the University of Southwestern Louisiana? Well, they're in the Sun Belt. Go Dogs. Get your dogs up.
Yeah.
I do love. Both my parents are Louisiana Tech. I was born in Ruston, Louisiana.
Is that your Louisiana accent?
That's my raising there. Down on that bayou. Down the bayou, boy. Lafayette crawfish, crawdaddies, alligators.
Keep going.
Then we gonna wrestle them
going.
gators. Crocodile. Maybe go on a fan boat. You ever been on a fan boat? You don't know what I'm on a fan boat. You can't handle a fan boat and laugh on a fan boat. Yep. It's like every time I do stand-up comedy. It's just, the crickets love me. They're the only ones.
I downloaded that just for you.
Thank you. You had me in mind when you knew he's going to try and say something funny. He's going to
do something that's going to be awful.
Yep.
Okay, practice report. This is the meat and potatoes of the show. This is what the
If you've
people really
lasted
care
this
about.
long, if you've stuck around this long, you're welcome. No, I mean, so practice is over. Not practice, but fall camp is officially over. Officially ended Saturday. It's always... People were reacting on Twitter to what GP said. GP's like, this is maybe a 500 team at best, and this is the worst
Didn't he
team
say that
ever.
last year?
He says that every year. Yeah, and he's been, I think, right twice in his tenure about that. I think they've had 2 bad years in his career here, like 2 real bad years.
And one of those was the year they lost like 5 games by a total of 12 points or something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just, it's hard to get. Again, we don't get to see any practice. There are other schools that get to see, right? You can actually tell, man, they actually look awful. Or versus here, we're like, well, I guess if GP says they look awful, I guess they look awful. And the rain is falling down in the sky. Like, just go and sell your season tickets now.
Cats and dogs are falling from the sky.
Yeah. So I don't believe that. I bet they had probably a rough day Saturday. I bet they could have been better, could have been crisper, maybe cleaner, maybe take care of the football.
But knowing that it was Meet the Frogs, I bet probably had something to do with it. Like this much hype going into it, and they're in practice, and they probably see the fans like herding up.
No, because no one could watch practice.
The cars and you know that when practice is over that day, like you're going to be sitting there signing autographs.
Well, probably, but they still practiced in the stadium where there were like literally 15 people in there when we got to go. We didn't get to see zero practice again. We got to go watch GP huddle around them and talk to them about 20 minutes. Literally 15 to 20 minutes of GP huddled up and talking to them after practice about, I'm assuming, how bad they were. We didn't get to hear any of it. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer way to. I wish we could be like, oh yeah, they look so good. They're gonna be the best team ever. But it's probably good to get that kind of reality check. Like, the hype train is running off the rails. I feel like this number 2 ranking, which I'm gonna pay zero attention to rankings at all this year. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter till the end.
I could go off about rankings anyway.
But he needs to tell them they suck at the end of practice because you got to get them motivated, and your first game's on the road at Minnesota.
On the road, a Thursday night. It's like the first game, the first real game of the year. I know North Carolina and South Carolina are playing in the Battle of the Carolinas.
Utah's playing Michigan.
I could see that being an interesting game.
Utah's going to stomp Michigan.
Man, but it's just, I don't know. It's hard to say, here's the practice report. Here's how it's looking good, who's not looking good, versus we have literally, I guess, no idea as to how they're actually looking. And I think the team's going to be fine. I'm not super worried. I'm not super freaked out. The defense is going to be fast. That's one thing GP keeps saying, that defense is going to be fast. The secondary, I mean, if you're worried about the secondary, he was bragging about how many interceptions they're getting in practice, and it's about half off of Boykin and half off of Hauser and crew, which actually the backups should just be called Cole Crew maybe. Crickets again. Cool. So I think it should be – I think the defense is going to be fine. I think the offense is going to be fine. It's going to be – if Dotson can play, he's going to be – iffy. He's only gone 4 days in practice, GP said. And the linebacker is going to be brand new. We said that. Deontay Gray. He's between probable and doubtful for the opener.
I would sit him.
I would
sit him.
I don't say – I mean, you really should.
I was more concerned last week when we were talking about this. I went ahead and I already started kind of working on Craig's countdown for the first week that will be posted on purplemenace.com.
Yeah,
Make sure you got to check that out. I'm going to post something every week on top of the already fantastic work of Billy Wessels, Matt Jennings, and Trey Fallon. So, purplemenace.com.
News team assemble.
Oh, we need to do a show with all 4 of us.
Yeah, Matt was supposed to be here tonight, actually. Then he texted me this morning, hey, I'm not going to make it. All right.
What a bum.
I know, right? Hopefully he'll be here next week.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's good. Because he took over my old show.
Yeah. And I've heard the ratings are getting so much better over there now since you left. I think, but GP did say a true freshman will be manning return duties.
Turpin? Is that what we're thinking?
That's what we're thinking. He didn't say specifically. I know that even that name was brought up as the return guy, and I didn't say that. So that's kind of what we're leaning towards.
We're thinking as Turpin, it's going to be Jalen Austin.
I mean, doubtful. But another guy to think about, though, is Julius Lewis, freshman cornerback from Mansfield, who made a killing at returns last year. He single-handedly beat number 1 ranked Cedar Hill in the regular season with, I think, 2. I know he had 1 kickoff return and a couple of big punt returns that give them a chance to beat them. And also played great at the secondary shutdown to Marcus Lodge, who I still think is my favorite high school player I've ever seen. He's going to Ole Miss. That'll be fun to watch him play. But I think, I'm probably going to be Turpin. It's probably Turpin or Julius Lewis are your top 2 candidates for being the return guy now with Luper gone.
Yeah, and you've got guys that have some experience. Deontay Gray's return punts. Obviously, he won't early, but he could be a guy you could put back there. I still remember the first punt he ever fielded against Grambling a couple years ago.
His first 2 collegiate touches were touchdowns.
Yeah, that's
he
pretty
returned
impressive.
the opening kickoff against Grambling, and then was it a punt or like the next kickoff?
It was a punt. It was a 69-yard punt return.
Yeah.
That he housed, and then I think he had a kickoff return.
I think the opening kickoff and a punt he housed. So I don't know if he's returned since. He's probably returned a couple times.
He's fumbled a couple times, and then Patterson was like, eh.
And enough of that mess. So, I mean, you could put him back there. I do think you'll see either Turpin or Lewis as your freshman return guy.
I was thinking about Minnesota, and I was a little bit worried, and then I started doing my homework, which is always a plus.
Yep.
Do your homework, and I was looking at Minnesota's roster, and I guess I didn't really think about, I was comparing it to last year's team. Man, they lost David Cobb, their starting running back.
Fantasy sleeper David Cobb.
And
he's
fantastic.
He's apparently killing it for the Titans.
And then Max Williams, their tight end,
was
also amazing. And so Minnesota, I think TCU, you don't sleep on teams, especially on the road, but I wouldn't play somebody like Deontay Gray or anybody. Maybe Doxson suits up and plays a little bit, but if you jump out on them 14-0 like you did almost every team last year, you can sit those guys and then work on some other things, maybe get some of those young guys some playing time. But when Patterson's talking about the defense and how fast they are, Minnesota, you laughed about it saying that you think that Vitaik is probably faster than everybody in Minnesota.
It'd be close.
Minnesota's going to struggle. They've got 3 returners on their offensive line, but they're going to struggle if they can't pound the ball up the middle, they're done. Because if you go lateral against the old TCU teams, you're in trouble. Now you're adding more speed, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah. So overall, the practice report, camp looked pretty good. Since we've been doing the show, we've been talking about the safeties and the corners. Nothing's changed. It looks like it's probably going to be Mosley opposite Tejada, and it's going to be Iloka and Johnson with Kindred
in the middle.
And then your linebackers are going to be Freeze, the true freshman. Two freshmen. Mike Freeze
Ty Summers.
And Summers.
Yeah.
Is it now leapfrog Sammy Douglas?
I mean, I think that's everything we're hearing is that Summers has been super good. But we're not going to see the official depth charts until probably next Tuesday. Yeah. At the earliest, because usually they have to release something on that at that media luncheon. That'll be the first inkling of a depth chart we'll see.
Okay. All right. So practice report is officially done. There will be no more practice reports. Every week after this, we're going to have actual scouting reports and game recaps, which is going to be so much better.
Yeah,
so much better.
Fun.
But Meet the Frogs.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Meet the Frogs.
It's always a fun thing. It's always a really fun event. And it's normally a pretty good crowd shows up. This year, like, the line was wrapped all the way around the indoor practice facility. Just absolutely insane. Outside, up near the wall outside. I'm using my hands here for this audio podcast. Coming back towards the street. Go and get the video of me waving my hands around like I'm an absolute maniac. Back towards the street, up the giant hill, back out towards the main street and down the street. So if you can follow my hand for this sort of a pattern here, it went sort of like this, and then back inside, and then you'd split it. You had to pick either offense or defense. You couldn't just get in one line. So the offensive line was even further straight, and then down, and then around, and then a loop-de-loop. It was like all the receiving routes we tried to run 3 years ago that we didn't know we were doing.
Yeah.
And if you pick defense, it was like run here, you had cut inside, and then of course the GP line is like a straight giant L piece from Tetris. If you're familiar, that's the pivotal piece. That's why that's the route you had to run to get to GP, the pivotal piece of this entire thing. Just a giant cluster of humanity, just around a lot of purple humanity, the best kind of humanity in my opinion.
Purple humanity.
But there literally had to be, dozens of thousands of people there. Like it couldn't. I could easily see 20,000 people. You could tell me there were 20,000 people at that event, and
That's
I would believe
insane.
you. It was so many people. They had to let people in even earlier because the line was so long. Like, just get inside because we don't want people to melt.
Yeah, because it was so hot.
Yeah, and this thing went on for 2 hours.
So what do you think average wait time? If you got there before the scheduled time, how long did it still take for you to get the line, to the front? If
you got there at right up 1 o'clock when it was supposed to be, because I went walking up at like 1:10 because I knew we weren't going to get players till close to 3. And of course, I'm so cool. I cut the line. I just kind of walked in and go, "Excuse me, I'm look important. I'm holding a camera." And I got to just walk in, and that line was out to the street when I walked in at 1:10, 1:15. I bet the people I walked by on the street didn't get in until had to be after 2:30.
Wow!
It had to be at least an hour. And that's if you wanted to get just one line. I don't know how many people got 2 lines of
Yeah, because you
players.
had to just pick. You had to pick offense, defense, or Coach P.
Yeah. I don't know how many people got all 3, if anybody. And the offensive line was absolutely insane because you went for that Boykin autograph.
Right.
Because he was the first one. It was also Boykin's birthday that day. Boykin and Foster Sawyer's.
I'm lucky. I got 2 Boykin footballs sitting in my room that I got from 12 and 13 when you could actually bring your own stuff.
Yeah, you can't bring that stuff anymore. Now it's just posters, just the generic team poster. That's all you can have people sign. So it was a really fun event. A couple former players in there. Jason Phillips, a good buddy of mine, got to see him for a second.
He's coaching now.
Yeah, he's coaching with the team now. Yeah,
that's going to help the linebacking core.
I think it will. And he's kind of a guy that's relatable to guys like Freeze and Summers, who are not like super highly touted recruits. But I think those guys could run laps around him at his best. But BJ Catalan was in the building. He's hanging out. He's coming back to school actually.
Yeah, he's got a year left.
Yeah, so he's going to finish out his school year. I was like, dude, can they get you on like the scout team? Can you imagine him and Kenny Hill on the scout team? Just how dirty that like practice offense could be if they could get both of them out there.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
That'd be real scary. They'd be ready for any team in the Big 12 if you could do that.
I'm glad BJ's coming back because he's a smart kid.
Yeah, he's a smart, nice guy. Excited about that. Yeah, everyone was a good time. You see Sonny Cumbie running with those
sports broadcasting.
Yeah,
BJ Catalan.
Mm-hmm. You'll be hearing his name soon. Maybe we can get him as a guest on the show. That'd be awesome. Actually, if we could work that out.
Oh, we'll get him.
Okay, fair enough. You can mark it down, everybody. I think you see little Sonny Cumbie and his kid run around with the same hair, same crazy curly hair, except he's like super blonde. It's just fun. Just a really fun event. A little music going on. The players are all enjoying it. Everyone's just hanging out. Everyone's taking selfies and whatever the kids do these days.
Well, I'm hoping that that they once the Schulmeyer Center gets finished, that they go back to having it there because they used to have it at the DMC.
Yeah,
and it was so much easier because you could have the people inside in the air conditioning, and then you'd go down the stairs and loop around.
Dude, there's so many people, like so many players, though.
But they're going to want to show off the Schulmeyer Center because that's going to have the whole TCU Hall of Fame for all the sports and everything. And
there's
going to be like an actual restaurant in there, and then all the concessions. You pump that, it's going to be new.
Yeah.
You pump everybody in there,
right,
coming off a national championship win.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be pretty intense. It's the double dip.
Fine, I'll go. You talked me into it. Yeah, no, Meet the Frog is always a super fun event. Just absolutely insane number of people, and everyone's just excited about this year, which we're 9 days away. It might be. Is it still 9 days, or is it like 9 days?
9
and
days.
4 hours? Something
Yeah, it's like
that?
9 days and an hour or something.
9 and change.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about recruiting. TCU locked up another big recruit over the weekend, another junior college guy. Billy's going to talk about Mat Boesen when we come back on the Purple Menace podcast.
Multiple sclerosis destroys connection, so it's only fitting that connection would be its greatest enemy, because connection takes away MS's ability to isolate, and as more connections form, we end up with more knowledge, more resources, more understanding, more ideas, and more hope. And then, the connections we make become more powerful than the connections MS destroys. MS kills connection. Connection kills MS. Give what you know at msconnection.org.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, Billy Wessels, talking about that football.
Football's the devil. I was quoting
The Water Boy?
Water Boy to somebody the other day. Well, Mama always said I'm gonna tattoo a Royal Orbison on my butt. Well, Mama don't know.
Don't hurt her.
That's like I think it's my favorite line from that entire movie.
Not the song where it's like, water sucks. It really, really sucks.
That or I say this to my friends all the time. That ain't no guess. That's what it's gonna be. I say that.
That's
a
what the
lot.
final score's gonna be.
Yeah, that ain't no guess on what we're gonna be. We're talking about that Bobby Boucher. My fantasy football league, which I hinted at earlier, which by the way, Drew Brees is actually my quarterback. I'm super excited as the Saints fan, being from Louisiana. Our trophy at the end of the year is actually called our championship game is called the Bobby Boucher Bowl. We have a little trophy that you get. It's just a sweet generic kind of used to be a bowling trophy, but it's got a little cup at the top of it. I've won it once. This is our 8th year of the league. I won one time. I rode Tim Tebow, the magical Tebow season. I know, right?
That is such a good drop.
Honestly, I'll make that my text song. I love Tim Tebow so much. You can use that one too.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay, so I love that you actually brought up the Water Boy, because what was he the best at? Rushing the passer?
Yeah, tackling fools.
Tackling fools, rushing the passer. We're talking recruiting, and what did TCU get?
Powerbomb, courtesy of Captain. Yeah, Mat Boesen.
He looks like he could powerbomb some people.
Dude, I'm super excited for this because I've already thought of the nickname. You know, I've always...
Yes, you're the nickname guy. Yes.
Whenever he gets a sack, he can just say he's dropping the basin. Like, dropping that base. Then, yep.
I didn't have the crickets ready.
Yeah, you didn't. You're sitting there holding a Mountain Dew. No, he's just like an absolute baller.
Mat Boesen, M-A-T,
Yep.
just one T, B-O-E-S-E-N, Mat Boesen. Look him up on Twitter. Look him up on Rivals, purplemenace.com.
Make
Billy
sure you
wrote
get
a story.
The current profile, not the one from 2 years ago when he was when he first enrolled at Baylor, or not Baylor,
Boise
State. Oof. Yikes.
Yeah. See, when TCU gets players from Boise State.
See what we did there. Freudian slip.
When TCU gets players from Boise State.
They are long, blonde-haired gentlemen.
This kid looks like Thor.
Yeah. Looks like Hemsworth. Someone put on our message board that he looked like the linebacker from The Program. That was an early 90s football film. I haven't seen it. I don't know, but
You've never seen The Program?
I've not seen The Program.
I'm going to go get the DVD and let you borrow it.
All right, I will do that.
I can't believe you've never seen The Program.
I haven't seen it.
Okay,
yeah.
so tell me about Mat Boesen.
Yeah, he likes to tackle quarterbacks. Big, athletic. I think he's
California kid, went to Boise.
Sunshine. He really did have.
He's not the cleanest cut of kids, but
no,
not the same type of troubles.
His all involved driving and being a little reckless behind the wheel. Oh, yeah. So.
Still not okay.
Still not okay.
Still not okay.
Still not okay, but it's just... It looks like he could turn out better as far as a person than what happened at Baylor, as we're going to talk about a little later in the show. Can't play till next year, but yeah, he's a big athletic guy. He plays as fast as he drives, so we'll be in good shape. Your face changed.
Oh my God!
You don't like that? You don't
can't
like
believe
that?
you went there.
You don't
with
like
it.
that? Really? You can't believe I did that?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so check out purplemenace.com. Check out the preview that Billy wrote up on Mat Boesen. I think he's going to be a stud, and he's just another one of those guys that fits this defense. He's a little undersized. He's not a big, huge defensive end, but you look at guys like McFarland for TCU and Tuoua.
These guys just get big when they get here.
They get bigger and they get faster, and if you're already, a svelte 6'5", 240.
Yeah. One guy that GB's actually been raving about this camp was Bryson Henderson. They've got him playing DN.
Is he back at end now?
I think he's back at end.
Because he was at tackle last year, but he was
so
in before
tall
that.
and skinny. Like, I think he's got to play DN. Maybe he's put him at tackle. I don't know. But
6'6".
But like 260. Like he's just tall and skinny. But you gave me free room to mention a different recruit, like a second recruit in here, because we had a couple of these guys. So I was actually talking about this the other day because I don't know if you know this. High school football starts this week. The first games start Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And me and Matt were talking about games we're going to try and get to this week and in the coming weeks. And we're looking at the recruiting class. There's like only 3 guys in the DW area for 2016 and 2017. The rest are all like Houston-based. Houston or Oklahoma or Louisiana-based.
Real road trip?
Yeah, it's all road trip guys. Like, okay, I mean, we can go look at guys that are offered, obviously, and people that are potentially looking at TCU and stuff, which we're definitely planning on doing. But it's just like weird seeing not a whole lot of local guys. One guy I want to touch on, 2017 kid, Wes Harris of Aledo. This is like my favorite post-commitment interview I've done because he called me, which is awesome, and I've love when recruits like reach out to you.
Awesome.
It's just so easy, yeah. And he's like, yeah, man, I just committed to TCU, and now I'm sitting on my back patio, just kind of looking out at the stars. I go, you all right? You're a high school sophomore, basically. So yeah, I went and visited campus, and I just loved it so much, and I should have committed right there when I was in GP's office, but I wanted to come home and think about it a little bit. And this is his voice, by the way.
I was hoping that you didn't just switch into a different person.
And I came home and I sat on the back patio talking to my brother and my parents for a little bit and ate a big old piece of chicken, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And I called Gary up and our coach P up and committed right there. So just a fun kid. I like that kid a lot. He's 2017 4-star. Could potentially get moved to a 5-star where we're kind of readjusting 2016 rankings over rivals as a whole right now. He's just a fun kid. It's good to see Aledo guys. Aledo wins a state title almost every year. They're top. I think they've won, 4 straight now? Or
and I was going to say, you can't go wrong with these Aledo kids.
No, this guy's just a giant human being already, an offensive lineman, which we're going to need more of after we graduate everybody this year. He's a fun Southern boy. He always dreamed of playing for TCU, and he was growing up 15, 20 minutes up the road. So it's fun to have him in there. That's my, second recruiting spot. Go back and read the article I wrote a couple months ago when he committed. It's on his profile, and it just kind of tells you that chicken story a little bit. So,
all right. So there's your recruiting nugget. When we come back, we're going to touch on a touchy topic.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Boise State ex-players, one in particular, and a scumbag coach. Next.
Have you heard the buzz about West Nile virus? Protect yourself and your family from the mosquito bites that spread the virus. When you go outside, use mosquito repellent-containing DEET. When possible, wear long-sleeve shirts and pants. And remove standing water around your home where mosquitoes breed. Anyone can become infected, but if you're over 50, you're at higher risk for severe disease or even death from West Nile virus. Remember, the best defense comes from things you can do yourself. Fight the bite. Tell mosquitoes to buzz off.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Geoff, Craig, and Billy Wessels talking TCU football, recruiting. We were just talking about Mat Boesen.
Yeah, dropping the bass. I get it. It's like he's sacking everybody already.
I think this should just be his song.
His walk-up music?
Yeah, basically. I like it.
Basically.
All right, so we've got to talk about it. We're going to try to keep it short, but we've got to talk about it. The whole situation down in Waco right now. If it wasn't bad enough that they were trying to troll TCU with their team photo.
I think they did it on purpose, and I do think that's brilliant.
Oh, they did it on purpose, but it shows that it shows how ridiculous they are because they're still dwelling on last year.
Yep.
I mean, they finished with 2 losses. We finished with 1.
They don't have a bowl win to think about, so they might as well think about that. That was their biggest win of the year.
It was.
Yeah.
And good for them. They won at home, and they beat TCU 61-58, but you were up 40 points against Michigan State, and you blew it.
Yeah.
I guess you don't want to harp on that too much.
And
but
they should have lost the Tech. But It doesn't matter. That's all last year. Who cares? This is something relating to this year.
This is crazy. This whole thing, I just found out about this probably Tuesday night.
I saw when it went down Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Was it Tuesday night? Articles started coming up, blowing up my Twitter feed, and then Wednesday is when I guess the final, like the actual verdict came out in the sentencing. But what we're talking about is Sam Echols-Luper, defensive end, formerly at Boise State. He ends up at Baylor, and a guy I'd never heard of. Billy, maybe you'd heard of him before because of the recruiting trail.
Well, he was supposed to be like the number one defensive, not number one next, but he was supposed to be opposite Oakman. Is that that giant monster?
The monster.
Yeah. So he was the opposite him and just a terrorizing defensive front for Baylor. And the coaches were up here at a media dinner, not a media dinner, but just like an alum dinner in DFW area a couple weeks ago, and they were touting this kid, how good he's going to be and how important he's going to be to the team this year. And then this whole thing happened.
And what you find out is that this Sam Echols-Luper was kicked out of Boise. Well, he was kicked off the football team. He wasn't actually kicked out of the university, but he was kicked off the football team for choking and punching his girlfriend. So he gets kicked off the football team, and so he transfers because, if I'm going to beat up girls and not get to play football anymore, I'll just go to another school.
Yeah.
Because
there are girls at other schools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he ends up transferring to Baylor. He's from Pearland, so, I see the whole get closer to home type of aspect. And I'm all for giving kids second chances.
Yeah.
But, so he's in, this is the part that gets me about the whole situation. So he goes to Baylor. He's getting his second chance. He's got to sit out a year.
Yep.
The year that he's sitting out, while he's sitting out, he sexually assaults a Baylor soccer player.
Freshman
Baylor soccer player. And I'm not going to give you all the details. You can read on them on your own. But this happened during a year that he was not on the team, yet they kept him around.
Yeah, he went through spring workouts and everything.
They were expecting him to play this year.
They're planning on playing him in 2 weeks or
this happened in
against SMU, whoever they're open with.
Right, this happened in 2013.
Yeah.
So all of 2014, he was still enrolled at Baylor, where he has since graduated. There's some proud alumni base right there. He has since graduated. He would have been playing as a grad student this year. He was the district attorney. They kept after this, and now it looks like Baylor may or may not have a situation with a cover-up and the police not doing their due diligence. The campus police didn't help. This girl ended up having to transfer because she didn't even feel safe anymore. Yeah. Not just Art Briles being the scumbag that he is, and keeping this kid on the team, period, or the athletic director or anybody, because you need to cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
Chop them all down from the top down. But the university let everybody on campus down because now you've got a known violent sexual predator on your campus who you're just like, well, we kind of knew he had a problem before he got here, but then he does it while he's there and you kept him around. That's the problem. TCU had a situation similar just last year with the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
And the preseason Defensive Player of
Defensive Player of the Year. A domestic violence issue arose. Yep. The university stepped in, gone.
Kicked them out.
Not the football team. The university said, no, we're not going to have this here. And he's gone. And it was a shock. And there was people that were like, oh, no, you need to give him a second chance. Gone.
Monsters like this don't. I mean, again, all about second chances, but you got a threat to women, men, and you got a threat to just themselves. I mean, to anyone on campus.
This is a sociopath.
Yeah, this is someone with issues, and you feel bad for the kid and hope they can get some help somewhere. But keeping them around a program and keeping them on a campus where there are, at TCU and Baylor, if you're going after women, I guess there's 5,000 some odd, 5,000 to 6,000 some odd potential victims there. And you just let them hang out and working out and getting stronger with your teammates, and you're fully intending on letting him play. In 10
You're giving
days,
him free school.
Yeah, free school, free diploma. He got a free diploma and free food and all that stuff that you get as a player, free gear. He gets to wear that Baylor swag for forever.
It's going to look good. It's going to look good.
Better than the orange or whatever, but it's just I just can't wrap my head around. That's the one. I don't know. Obviously, I feel I'm a good person, but I watch so much Law & Order SVU. It's like, you don't mess with women and children. That's just my creed, my motto. I don't get it. You're signed up to play football. Go play football. Go beat up. Get out your aggression on other dudes that are your size. Don't mess with people that are smaller than you. And just the fact that they kept him around. It's got something's got to happen. Like something, because Bryles knew. He's saying he didn't. There's no.
Right. And then Chris Peterson came out and said, "No, I told him."
The former Boise coach, now Washington coach, he did his due. He has to tell it. Coaches know about this. I'm 90% sure. I haven't talked to GP about it. He wouldn't say anything, or we wouldn't ask him anything about this. But he probably knew about all this.
It's coaches is a fraternity.
Coaches talk to coaches. I mean, everyone knew this was going to happen. Like, just maybe not knew, but was pretty sure something like this was going to go down. And it's just like, why take a chance? If you're Baylor, you're sitting there. You've got a top 10 program again, top 10 football team. And again, don't want to make this just a football story. It's so much more than a football story. It's a civic duty story almost. It's just letting good people near you and getting.
This is our public service announcement of the day.
Yeah, you just heard all the whatever programs we put here in the middle of this, which are all great. Listen to them all. Go back, rewind after this is done, and take care of those people we try to take care of on here. But it's just like it just blows my mind. And then so what's going to happen? Say next. I mean, this is all purely hypothetical, and I hope it doesn't happen. If Devontae Fields is an issue in Louisville.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the same thing.
If Louisville, if you hadn't heard, Louisville's went and swept and picked up Devontae Fields. You're opening another can of worms. You're bringing in a victim to Louisville's a much bigger school. I mean, what do they have? I'm just going to spitball 30,000 people at that school. So that's probably
sounds about right.
15 to 16,000 women on that school. 14 to 16 potential victims. Like, it just blows my mind that you're willing to take a risk on this just because they play football. Just because
they're an athlete.
Because you represent the school 12 days a year. Basically. Yeah. I mean, you do it a lot more, but you put on that jersey and those pads and play under the lights 12 times.
It's sad.
Is it worth it?
Really
it's
is.
So sad.
And I feel bad, again, like you're saying, this isn't a football story anymore. I feel bad for this girl who, I mean, even in like the police report and everything, she was listed as Jane Doe because she was so scared. How does a university drop the ball? That's my biggest issue. Yeah. The entire school failed this girl, and ultimately, it's the football program, and it starts with the athletic director because they got to approve all these things and get these guys in here, but something's got to happen at Baylor. It's sad. I mean, I love TCU. If the same thing happened at TCU, I'd be saying the same thing. And I love Gary Patterson, but if he pulled a stunt like this and something like this happened, I'd say he needs to go.
But he's been so good after the whole drug thing a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
He's like getting in front of everything. He's making sure you can't tarnish his reputation, his program, his tenure, whatever, his legacy he's leaving here at TCU, making sure all that's gone. And
we're not saying that TCU doesn't have issues. We had the Casey Paul Hall DUI, and he was gone from school. He went and did rehab, and then they let him come back. But he had to earn his way back. Yeah. And that's, that was a different situation. And they've had knuckleheads on this team that are no longer on this team.
Yeah. Now, the big thing they've done, I think for sure the last two recruiting classes, is trying to get good apples. You can turn someone's willing to work hard and try hard and play hard, and if you're a good person, you're going to have issues off the field, you're going to put out a successful program, a successful team every year. And that's what they're going for is character. Probably the number one trait overall. I mean, issues might have happened before, but now with Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and there are kids. And I saw Mike Williams, defensive tackle from All Saints. He's a high school senior, highly touted recruit, going to Stanford. I really was hoping TC would get him. I love that kid. He's really smart, but also a really good defensive tackle, really good defensive lineman. But he's tweeting about how kids are putting stupid things on Twitter. He went on a long tirade, like a 4 or 5 tweet long tirade.
And this is a high school kid.
This is a high school kid talking about how kids quit putting stupid stuff out there. You're hurting your chance of getting offers. He's like, you guys, you want to get on the college football field somewhere. These guys are just dying for a scholarship offer to go keep playing. Yet you go out there and tweet about, I don't know, weed and inappropriate relationships.
Or stupid pictures
and stuff like that. And you're hurting your chances, and he's a kid that gets it. There's not a whole lot of kids that...
Well, he's going to Stanford.
Yeah, clearly he gets he's going to Stanford. But, and I don't know, TCU's recruiting guys that get it now. You don't hear about any of these guys, except for Boesen, apparently, who had issues in the past. But you're not recruiting guys that have issues still in high school that could develop, these bad seeds could develop into spoiled apples. You're getting guys that are good seeds. TCU's recruiting the entire family. They're putting together family. All these kids I talk to, they're like, TCU just feels like an extension of my family. That's the number one thing they say about the program that they love. And if you're making them feel like that, you're not going to hurt family. You're not going to mess it up because of that.
Yeah.
And that's what TCU's doing. And I've got literally there's a kid for Baylor's team now that his dad coached me in Little League. Little Patrick Lawrence, number 77. He's a sophomore. I think he redshirted last year. He'll be a redshirt freshman this year. Love that kid more than anything. Like, went to high school with his older brother. Me and same graduating class, played baseball with his whole family forever. I'm not saying they're bad kids at Baylor. They're not all bad.
Right.
But it's just like it's sucks when teams and schools don't step up and do the right thing because they want to win a football game. At the end of the day, who's gonna remember 61-58 in 10 years from now? We're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be an ESPN Classic. It's like, oh, this game was amazing. That game doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, no one's gonna look back and say, oh man, that was like the best game ever. I mean, it was a really amazing game. No one's ever gonna remember that. They're gonna look back and say, man, this program, if one of these, like Penn State's still really.
How about Baylor's basketball team?
I know, right? I was thinking about that earlier today. That was what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
15?
15 years ago, Baylor had a really horrible situation. Yeah. Do we remember anything or any players from those Baylor teams other than the guy who killed a guy and the coach that covered it up? No. There's more to life than sports. Yeah. And you are a university first. You're supposed to be about education. Education,
and they're in providing a safe second home. A lot of these kids are leaving high school they've been surrounded by the same 10 to 20,000 people their entire lives for 18 years, and now they're getting thrust into a new community that they've never been in, an environment they've never been in. It's the school's responsibility to keep them safe.
Yep.
And they're kind of promised that and expecting that when they get there, and then they come in and your school you choose to go to, whether it's Baylor, TCU, whatever, you chose Baylor for a reason. Whatever it is. I mean, Baylor and TCU are so similar as far as like the population and the money that the type of student that go to those schools. That's why I think it's kind of ridiculous that the people hate each other so much when they're so similar. A lot of North Face, a lot of Nike shorts, a lot of stuff like that at both schools.
A lot of cowgirl boots and khaki shorts.
Yep, sundresses, but very similar people that go to those schools. But you chose Baylor for a reason, and you wanted to go there and be safe, and instead they bring in a monster to come and terrorize your student body. It's just, it's sad, and I don't know. It's sad.
I feel bad. I feel bad for the other kids at Baylor, because now you've got an entire population of students at Baylor that have to deal with this too. Because that's the thing. You've just tarnished the entire school. Yeah, you've tarnished the school's reputation.
All people have been talking about it's a totally different subject, but the whole Jared Fogle thing, it's been a rough week for things that I care about. Like, I care about football, I care about losing weight in Subway. I don't know, but it's just so much. Why are there so many bad people in the world, Jeff? Why?
I think it's just easier to find out how bad some people really are. And the problem is it's not that there's more bad people. I think the ones that are bad are just so ridiculously awful humans that this is what we get. Sorry we went all
sad, emotional.
We got
it.
But this is something that needed to be talked about. Again, there's more to life than sports.
And I've been wanting to talk about it, and I've been refraining from tweeting about it, but I think this is kind of a better way to kind of get your opinion about this out there. It's not really opinion.
It's easy to misconstrue what somebody writes.
Yeah, you hate bad people. Ooh, crazy opinion, I know, right? But to fully explain it in I don't know, 1,400 characters, 14,000 characters of 140. It's just bad, man. It's just a sad situation we're in. We're money over everything, and that's football makes money. So people are gonna do whatever it takes to make money and win football, and then get ESPN ratings and be ranked the highest on December 5th or 6th, whenever the rating comes out. Because the ratings this week don't matter.
They don't matter.
They don't matter.
They don't matter. What does matter is people. People, be good to each other.
ELE. Everybody love everybody.
It seems like it's so easy. It's so easy. Well, we love everybody, and we hope you love the podcast.
Here. Thank you.
It's the longest podcast we've ever done, but
we're over an hour?
We're close.
We're close to an hour?
We're close to an hour.
You're gonna have real fun cutting this down and editing and.
Oh, it's gonna be so much easier with this new mixer.
This brand new mixer.
Yeah, I know. Behringer 1204 USB mixer.
Mr. Behringer, if you're listening,
it's fantastic. So if anybody
good job.
wants to get a mixer for their podcast, I recommend the Behringer 1204 USB.
There you go.
It's fantastic.
So I brought a microphone and a stand and a computer and my mostly empty brain, but I'm here talking my dumb impressions. We're having fun, trying to lighten the mood up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we had fun for the first 45 minutes. The last 10 have been quite depressing.
Real sad.
But
Jared Fogle, let's talk about that.
No, we're going to skip Jared Fogle. We'll be back next week. Next week, we are going to talk Minnesota. We're going to have the preview of the game. We're going to break it down. I'm going to give you a little preview of Craig's countdown.
Are we going to do predictions and then?
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to do pick 'em for like other games? We should do that too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's only
we'll do predictions for like
5 interesting games this
We'll do
weekend.
like 4 or 5 games. We'll do pick 'em. Matt Jennings is going to join us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, if he doesn't, then
he's fired.
We'll just have to just record some stuff with him, and then I'll splice it in.
This is my Matt Jennings voice. This is him. Matt Jennings is here. It's like Kermit just sucked on helium.
Oh, it's like Kermit drank really, really hot tea.
Yeah. My voice.
I'm just going to sip this tea.
Have you seen the meme of him sitting there sipping a tea? That's none of my business.
That's what I'm saying.
Matt Jennings sounds like Kermit on tea, but that's none of my business.
Have you ever seen Matt drink tea?
He
looks like Kermit drinking
that's
tea.
That's all he drinks. He's like 21, so innocent and pure. He's the kind of guy we're talking about where like just a good apple. He's like the best apple. He's like the Gala and Pink Lady and Fiji all combined. So
You've given me so much audio gold today. Like, this is going to be so much fun to cut this up. All right, everybody, we'll be back next week. PurpleMenace.com. Check out all the fantastic writing. If you love recruiting, if you want to just find out more about TCU football, some of the guys that are coming in, some of the guys that are already here, and like we said, predictions for the upcoming games. We'll be back next week. Check out the YouTube channel. I'm also putting these on SoundCloud, so you can download them.
Yeah, listen to your own convenience.
Yeah, and go to the Rivals website, tcu.rivals.com or purplemenace.com. It takes you to the same place. Sign up so I can make some money, because I did just buy this mixer.
Yeah. I have not given him a paycheck yet.
I have not earned a paycheck yet, apparently.
I get paid on Friday, then y'all get paid.
Oh, see?
Gotta take care of
But you guys got to sign up and leave comments. Leave comments on Facebook when I post it, or on Twitter. Just tell us if we suck or whatever.
Comment on this audio.
And you need to send this to, if you have a Baylor friend, send it to them. Let's see what they think.
Oof.
Because we weren't hypercritical. I'm saying if it was the same situation happened here, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, but thank goodness we don't have to worry about that.
That's right, we don't. So we'll be back next week. I'm Jeffrey Craig at GeoffreyCr. What? You're over there making noises. It's freaking me out.
I'm Matt Jennings at Matthew Jennings.
Geoffrey
That's all I wanted to do.
_CRAIG. Billy.
At Billy Wessels on Twitter, at TCU_Rivals. And I'm trying to find Matthew Jennings' actual
I'll
Twitter
post
profile.
If you're looking at the YouTube page, I'll have Matt's stuff on there too. You can look at it and then, tweet at him too. Tweet him Kermit drinking tea memes. He loves them.
Just see if he even gets it. And again, selfless plug, GoFundMe.com/Billy Skin Removal. I'm still trying to raise some money that way.
Excellent. So I'll put that in there too.
Be a happy ending to my story instead of the Jared Fogle story.
Yeah, because
that's real.
That would.
I might.
Much
if we
rather.
get into that, I might actually cry.
I
came close talking about the Baylor monster,
No.
but that's just sad. You
Yeah.
want to see a 6'5", 260-pound giant cry.
No, not really. Okay, we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.